Be ready. Start. We have to bear in mind that the legislature, while incorporating the provisions of Chapter 17, Sections 138 to 142, inserted in the NI Act, Amendment Act 1988, intends to punish only those who know fully well that they have no amount in the bank and yet issue a check in discharge of debt or liability already borrowed stroke incurred, which amounts to cheating, and not to punish those who refuse to discharge the debt for bona fide and sustainable reason. It has already been held that check dishonor on account of drawer's stop payment instruction constitutes an offense under section 138 of the NI Act, but it is subject to the rebuttal presumption under section 139 of the NI Act, as the same can be rebutted by the drawer even at the first instance. It was held therein that in order to escape liability under section 139, the accused has to show that dishonor was not due to insufficiency of funds, but there was valid cause, including absence of any debt or liability for the stop payment instruction to the bank. The authority shows that even when the check is dishonored by reason of stop payment instructions by virtue of section 139, the court has to presume that the check was received by the holder for the discharge in whole or in part of any debt or liability. Of course, this is a rebuttal presumption. The accused can thus show that the stop payment instructions were not issued because of insufficiency or paucity of funds. If the accused shows that in his account there were sufficient funds to clear the amount of the check at the time of presentation of the check for encashment at the drawer bank, and that the stop payment notice had been issued because of other valid causes, including that there was no existing debt or liability at the time of presentation of check for encashment, then offense under section 138 would not be made out. The important thing is that the burden of so proving would be on the accused. Thus, a court cannot quash a complaint on this ground. Therefore, complaint filed in such a case, although might not be quashed at the threshold before trial, heavy onus lies on the court issuing summons in such cases, as the trial is summary in nature. Ordinarily, the stop payment instruction is issued to the bank by the account holder when there is no sufficient amount in the account. But it was also observed therein that the reasons for stopping the payment can be manifold, which cannot be overlooked. Hence, in view of section 139, it has to be presumed that a check is issued in discharge of any debt or other liability. But the presumption can be rebutted by adducing evidence, and the burden of proof is on the person who wants to rebut the presumption. However, this presumption, coupled with the object of Chapter 17 of the Act, leads to the conclusion that by countermanding payment of post dated check, a party should not be allowed to get away from the penal provision of section 138 of the Act. Therefore, in order to hold that the stop payment instruction to the bank would not constitute an offense, it is essential that there must have been sufficient funds in the accounts in the first place on the date of signing of the check. the date of presentation of the check, the date on which stop payment instructions were issued to the bank. When the magistrate had disallowed the application in a case of stop payment to the bank without hearing the matter merely on the ground that there was no dispute about the dishonor of the check issued by the accused, since the signature was admitted, and therefore held that no purpose would be served in examining the bank manager, since the dishonor was not in issue. This court held that examination of the bank manager would have enabled the court to know on what date stop payment order was sent by the drawer to the bank, clearly leading to the obvious inference that stop payment, although by itself would be an offense, the same is subject to rebuttal provided there was sufficient funds in the account of the drawer of the check. Further, it has been held that Section 139 is an example of reverse onus clause that has been included in furtherance of the legislative objective of improving the credibility of negotiable instruments. While Section 138 of the Act specifies the strong criminal remedy in relation to the dishonor of the checks, the rebuttable presumption under Section 139 is a device to prevent undue delay in the course of litigation. Thank you.